Morning, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Excuse the noise, I'm doing my cardio right now. So yesterday I posted a thing on Facebook. It is peak week. One more week before the Colorado Natural. And currently weighing 189. I'm super excited, kind of nervous, actually very nervous. But I had mentioned how I got news, extremely good news, regarding my health and how bodybuilding has legitimately saved my life. So, I'm a type 1 diabetic, and with type 1 diabetes, I have to take insulin, I have to be able to eat right, and make sure that my sugars don't go up. And I've always had an issue making sure that I live healthy and that my blood sugars don't go crazy. Little background on when I got diagnosed. So I was diagnosed in 2006, and I was actually prepping for a bodybuilding competition back then. I gave it up because of the diagnosis, and I lost all the weight, and I didn't take care of myself. The first thing, I hate needles. I didn't want to take my insulin. Second, I have a massive sweet tooth, so I still ate whatever I could. It didn't matter. I figured that diabetes, though my family has a history of diabetes, I figured I could handle it and still do all the things I want to do. Well, hundreds of hospital visits later, and my blood sugar being extremely elevated, as in, I've had doctors tell me I should be dead. I came to a place recently where I decided I had to take care of myself more. And I started doing that. Still taking my insulin, trying not to eat, sugar and, any carbs that would elevate my sugars. And it was still a struggle, but I was able to take my A1C hemoglobin from 13, which is high, down to 7. And I was proud of that. I was like, holy crap. I was able to do that. Then I decided that I wanted to fulfill my dream of being a bodybuilder. Now, mind you, wasn't the main reason why I really started locking in on getting my sugars controlled. A big reason is my family. When your sugars are that high for that long, and you're pretty much playing Russian roulette with your life, other people, love you too, other people would be hurt by it. Mainly my immediate family. My parents, my wife, my kids, because at any point, anything could happen and I could die. Anything from my kidneys shutting down to not waking up because my sugars were too high. And that's something I want to talk about because sometimes we get into our own heads and we figure I could do whatever I want without any consequences. And that's not how it goes. Actually, there are consequences for all of our actions. And unfortunately, when you're playing Russian roulette with your own life, one day you're gonna hit that bullet. And the decision you have to make is it worth playing Russian roulette with your life? Or is it worth changing your life and actually busting your ass and making sure that one, you're happy, and two, you don't end up hurting those around you? And it doesn't, death is like an extreme. With me, I was playing Russian roulette to the point where if that bullet would have hit, I would have been dead. And it's a shame that it took me, so long to realize this. That just because I wanted to do whatever the hell I wanted, it was gonna hurt my family. Yeah, I love eating cheesecake. I loved eating McDonald's and all that crappy food and all that shit. But was it worth it? No. So fast forward to when I did the video or the post yesterday. I went in, did blood work, right? And the day before, I had a telecom appointment with my doctor. And one thing that I found troubling as I started my journey towards competing in the Colorado Natural is that I didn't have to take my Novolog, which is like a fast-acting sliding scale insulin. But when I would take my Balsiglar, which is a form of Lantus, my sugars would stop dipping extremely low. In fact, as I was preparing for another competition, the INBA Colorado State, I ended up in the hospital with signs of a heart attack. And heart disease does run in my family. So it was one of those things where I really had to watch what I was doing. And I get to the hospital, and what they tell me is it's not a heart attack. It's a combination of anxiety, stress, and my blood sugars being extremely low. So normal blood sugar, at least the way it was described to me, is between 70 and 120, at least in my case. I was going down to 30. And once again, they were saying, how am I not unconscious and pretty much in a coma? They did some tests and then let me know what they found. My body was functioning more like a normal person without diabetes. But they wanted me to scale down the insulin and all that stuff. Well, when I talked to my doctor, I explained to her that the Balsaglar was causing my blood sugars to go even further down. And she was shocked. And what she told me was to cut it in half. So at the time I was doing 40 units once a day. And as I was doing the 40 units, that's when my blood sugars would drop. I had also changed my diet. I was working out every day, lifting, cardio, and this was all in preparation for this competition. And she tells me to cut it in half, or at the very most take 15 units a day. I told her okay. She said, and if that doesn't work, guess what? You don't have to take your insulin. When she said that, I was like, holy shit. It's 2021. I got diagnosed in 2006. And I'm having a doctor tell me I might not even need insulin anymore. I was ecstatic. First person I called was my mom. And I called my sister. And then I told my wife. And they were so proud of me, because I broke that ceiling, where my health was getting 10 times better. So I did what the doctor said. I cut it in half, went down to 15. My sugars were still going down. Not as far as 30, but in the 50s. So I was like, okay, if that's the case, then let me cut it down to 10. I did that last night, and I only had to take this once. And my diet, for the most part consists of protein and vegetables, and every once in a while, like less than a cup of rice. Well, yesterday, I figured, okay, since my blood sugars keep on dropping, let me add rice to my lunch and my dinner. Just same amount, half a cup of rice. And I took the 10 units, and once again, I went to bed at 11 when I came in, and they were down again, this time to 57. I was like, all right, that fucking means no more insulin, and this is what I mean. Bodybuilding, fitness saved my life, because one, I had to set a goal. Where did I want to take this journey to? I wasn't thinking about, I don't want to take insulin, so let me do this. It's just a byproduct. I decided, to compete. And yeah, was I completely ready? No, I had a month where I didn't do shit. Yeah, I ate normal, but I didn't do shit. I only registered, paid for, got my tanning session done, polygraphs ready to go for Friday, and I paid all of that, knowing that if I didn't, I wouldn't do it. And within a month, no insulin, and my sugars are normal. I no longer have to play Russian roulette with my health, with my life. And that's the thing. You have to, when you realize life is a huge journey, the moment we're born, we're on this journey. And even the moment we die, there's probably a journey after that. The important thing we have to do is realize how we're going to be on this journey, and make it to where we inspire ourselves and others. It isn't easy. It's taken years for me to learn how to do this, but I'll tell you what, it's freaking worth it. I'm mentally and physically healthier than I've ever been. Especially with PTSD and schizoaffective disorder, where anything could set me off. The fact that I've lasted, this long, with all the challenges that I have had to face, and we all face challenges. Doesn't matter how old we are, how much money we make, how good looking we are, or not good looking. We all face challenges. And the whole thing is, and we have to really remember this, is what are we going to do during those challenges? Are we going to look at them and run away? Or are we going to dig in our heels and fight back? Guaribo, which is my indigenous name, as well as the name of my personal training business, Guaribo Fitness, means warrior. It's a Taino word that means warrior. And at first, when I received this name, I was like, cool, I have my indigenous name and all that. And I knew what it meant, but I didn't know what it meant. But ultimately, the point of being a warrior is to face the challenges. Be mindful of your strengths and your weaknesses, and build on the strength and destroy your weaknesses till they become strengths. I'll tell you one thing, talking to you on camera here, it's not easy. I'm not the type of person that likes to be filmed. You rarely ever see me in photographs. I'm a very introverted person. But there's something that I learned when I used to do professional wrestling. And if anybody knows terminology in professional wrestling, there's this word called kayfabe. And it's a carny word, being that wrestling started as a sideshow in like carnivals and stuff. Kayfabe means to live your character. You don't, just because a match ended, you don't go back to being you. You remain in character till the last person leaves. And even then, if you look at Mexican lucha libre, they're always in character. They walk out of the door of their house and they'll wear their mask and they act like their character. Kayfabe is like that with life in general. You know, if you feel that you can't do something, or that there's too many challenges, guess what? There's a way to fucking change that mindset. And the way you do that is, I hate saying this because for as much as people say wrestling is fake, trust me, it's not fake. But fake it till you make it. And it's like that in life. You want to be rich? Act rich. You want to be a champion? Act like a champion. Napoleon Hill said, that which you dream and you believe, you will achieve. And guess what? That's exactly what kayfabe is. Kayfabe is you dream up your character. My character was Raven Punks in wrestling. You dream up that character and you start acting like that character. Yes, I acted like it in the ring. And then you achieve what you're going after. And believe it or not, Raven Punks is the reason I met my wife. My wife and I met on OkCupid.com, dating website. And it's rare for couples to stay together after meeting on a dating website. I didn't want anything to do with anyone. I had just gotten divorced. I had lost my daughters to social services. I was hopped up on so many medications, I couldn't do anything with myself. And it took a guy who was my best friend, his girlfriend, whom I was living with, hated me being the third wheel. So she said, you need to go online and find someone. I was like, I don't want to. I do not want to. And guess what? She nagged and she nagged until I finally created a profile, but I told her, don't expect me to reply to anybody. I don't want anybody. I just got out of the divorce 6 months ago. Nah, relationships not for me. So I thought. My wife, Sabrina, saw my profile, and mind you, my name wasn't Mike. Wasn't Michael Ferrer, wasn't Mikey, it wasn't Miguel like I used to do. It was Raven Punks. I was living my gimmick. Raven Punks, honestly, was and is me. She starts writing me for 3 days. I don't reply. And she's had full conversations with me. But it was more like she was talking to herself. And it wasn't until she asked me to go out dancing with her that I finally responded 3 days later. I was this kid, mohawk, Well, at that time I was bald. Piercings, tattoos, and I lived my life with this motto. I'm gonna do what I want, where I want, with whomever I want, and how I want. We met, couldn't go dancing, I had a suspended license, so we drove around and talked from 10 o'clock at night until 7 in the morning when she dropped me off at my friend's house. After that, she invited me over. She wanted me to meet her kids. I found that strange, but I did it anyway. And since then, it's been 9 years since we've been together. Haven't been apart. Yeah, we have struggles. And yes, there are times where I've almost called it quits. But I will tell you, had it not been for me kayfabing, I wouldn't have met her. Probably wouldn't have got in with her. And the same thing goes in life. You know, so many people will tell you, you need to work hard, you need to bust your ass. I agree. But if you don't come in with the mindset that you already have what you want, you'll never achieve it. So, I'm almost done with my cardio. My message to you is kayfabe the shit out of life. Do whatever it takes to obtain that which you want. It's why I'm a champion. It's why I'm first place. I solely believe this in my heart and in my mind and in my soul. Don't ever give up. Don't ever play Russian roulette with your life. If shit hits the fan, wipe yourself off, get the fuck right back up, and push forward in everything that you do. And if someone tells you you can't do it, stay quiet, be nice, and show them that you can, because nothing is impossible. Supposedly my pancreas is gone. Supposedly. And yet, I'm speaking to you here as a type 1 diabetic without the need of insulin. So, if that could happen, and I know that I'm a champion and that I will bring the best to this competition, I expect you all to do the same. Bring the best, kayfabe the shit out of life, and achieve your dreams. This is Quadivo. I believe in you. I love you guys. Subscribe and get notifications of when my videos are up. And if you're in the Colorado area, come to the Rialto Theater September 11th to support me and all the bodybuilders, all the bikini models, everyone that'll be competing there through OCB at the Colorado Natural. All right, I'm out, peoples.